Today I find myself wanting to reach out more and more to the folks who matter most to me. My family, my friends, my legacy and Intertech coworkers. I'm continually grateful for our outstanding people, our strong and vibrant company, and the vitality of the industry that we're in. And I'd like to take just a moment to share a thought with you. Because sometimes, in the middle of the daily challenges that life gives us, we can miss what's really important. We may fail to say hello, or please, or thank you. We may fail to give someone a compliment or congratulate them on something wonderful that's happened to them. We might forget to do something nice for just no apparent reason. But some people do remember what's important and continue to do what's right. And I, for one, am enormously grateful for those people. They don't look around to see who's watching them, they just help. It reminds me of a story I heard some time ago, and I'd like to share it with you. It goes something like this. Captain Charles Plumb, a U.S. Naval Academy graduate, was a jet pilot in Vietnam. After 75 combat missions, his plane was destroyed by a SAM, or surface-to-air missile. Plumb ejected, and he parachuted into enemy hands. He was captured, and he spent 6 years in a communist prison. He survived the ordeal and now lectures on lessons learned from that experience. One day, when Plumb and his wife were sitting at a restaurant, a man from another table came up and said, "You're Captain Plumb. You flew F-4 Phantom jet fighters in Vietnam from the aircraft carrier Kitty Hawk. You were shot down. How in the world did you know that?" asked Plumb. "I packed your parachute," the man replied. Plumb gasped in surprise and gratitude, and the man grabbed and pumped his hand and said, "I guess it worked." Well, Plumb assured him it sure did. If your chute hadn't worked that day, I wouldn't be here today. Charlie couldn't sleep that night. Thinking about that man, he kept wondering what the man might have looked like in his Navy uniform. He wondered how many times he might have seen him and not said good morning, how are you, or anything, because you see, Plumb was a fighter pilot. The other man was just a sailor. Plumb thought of the many hours that sailor had spent down in the bowels of the ship, carefully weaving the shrouds and folding the silks of each chute, holding in his hands each time the fate of someone he did not know. So today, Charlie Plumb always asks his audience, who's packing your parachute? Because every one of us has someone who provides what we need to make it through the day. Charlie also points out that he needed many different kinds of parachutes after his plane was shot down and he was imprisoned. As we go through this strange time in America, I'd like to recognize all of you who've packed so many parachutes and enabled legacy to help others today. You may not even know who you helped, and you'll probably never meet them. But the first responders, the hospital staffs, and the folks you meet every day are all people. You help them go to work, and you help them speak to their parents and their grandparents. You help some of them to relieve their boredom and loneliness. And all this took place simply and exclusively from your individual efforts. I want to today salute you and say thanks on behalf of those you helped last week. Thanks from everyone at Legacy, Easttech, CMS, and Intertech. From our whole Intertech family of companies, stay safe.